want to tell you a story about a man, a real journeyman, if you will, but not journeyman in the traditional sense. You see, he committed his life to being his journey. He woke up every day at the foot of the mountain, ready to climb. And somehow, every day, he made it to the summit. Waking up the next day to do it all again with grace and a smile on his face. The legacy that Lee leaves behind is one of hope and growth, acceptance and survival, strength and determination. He's created the blueprint for so many to follow after him, because every time he took a step, he made sure that his footprint was solid enough for somebody else to step in it. He led by example and raised his daughter to be able to see exactly what she wanted and exactly the person that she should be. He's developed an incubator to help other dreamers and entrepreneurs become believers and doers and contributors to society. He's provided a future for his children and for the children of so many others. He's been a miracle for countless people, and he's done it behind the veil of secrecy and without ego. His story has impacted thousands upon thousands and allowed the writing of millions of other stories to be told that might not have been told if it wasn't for his story. This creative man rewrote the rule book on what it meant to deliver impact. You see, that's his legacy. Impact. To leave a mark on this world so impactful that even while you're alive, your impact resonates and it is felt by the generations that you have now set up for success. This man's name is Michael Rollon. And over the last 20 years, his influence, his impact, and his life has touched so many people. The experiences of his life have gone on to be the foundation and blueprints and teachings of what so many other thought leaders and influencers that have come after him have adapted their life to. He made the changes that were required of him to manifest the life that he has and the legacy that he will leave behind. And that's the story I want to tell you today. It would be really easy for me to tell you the story of Michael the Survivor, or Michael the Charismatic, or Michael the Dreamer. But instead, I want to tell you about a man who not only survived, who not only dreamed, but created a reality. He coined his position in life as a creator maker. He was like many others who was an entrepreneur, and I put that in quotations. But once he realized the power that he had in telling his story, in painting the world the way that he wanted to see it with his paintbrush, and speaking the words from his heart that fell on the world in the way that they needed to hear it, did he truly realize that he wasn't just a creator maker, he was an artist in every sense of the word. Not just with his music or with his illustrations, but the way that he told his story, the way that he shaped the world around him that had a ripple effect for the world as a whole. He was an artist of our generation, and the art is everywhere around him that he touches. So he's not a business owner, an entrepreneur, a thought leader, an innovator. He is an artist in the purest form possible. And he got to that place by doing the work necessary. He journeyed through himself and through his history and his culture and lineage. He went to the footsteps of his ancestors and found out where he was going based off of where he has been. And only then was he able to make his dreams become his reality. And it was a lot more beautiful in reality than he could have ever imagined in his limited mind. His health journey of survival became the journey of thriving and became equally as full and aligned as other areas of his life. He adapted a healthy lifestyle of a healthy mind, a healthy body, and more importantly, a healthy soul, and lived what it meant to live a life of vitality. There's nothing that he wanted to do that he wasn't able to do. He wanted to get touched into his roots of Spanish culture and visit the world, but to be able to really immerse himself, he learned Spanish and was able to speak fluently in the countries of which his ancestors dominated in their survival and growth and lineage that got handed down to him. He became an artist full of confidence, knowing that what he created was first for him and speaking to himself and pleasing himself, and then allowing the world in to see his vulnerability. His music, his art, his storytelling resonated, and he became part of the band again. He got to play the music he wanted, say the words that he wanted, and send his message out in so many reverberating ways. His art can be seen in galleries, from coffee shops all the way to the Met. His work is published and renowned for his work. He was able to achieve and accomplish a relationship with money that set him down the course of abundance. And he was able to do that by capturing wealth that he was then able to return and give back. His goal for being rich was never to see how many decimal accounts he had in his bank account, but how much he can make to absorb that he can give back, because that's the impact theory. That's the way that he always saw his life going, as a servant. But he realized that as a servant, he didn't have to struggle. Poverty and servitude didn't have to be the same for him anymore. He honed his vulnerability and set out to live a life that was worth living. A life that was full. A life that never made him question, am I going to be happy? Am I ever going to stop wanting or needing? Because he was full of life, full of love, full of passion. He met his person. He met his person that finally matched his effort. The passion, love, understanding, caring, and was able to take that love and blossom it into so much more. His financial abundance broke him free of financial bondage that allowed him to change the world and experience the world in a way that most never will, but often all want. It's that freedom that allowed him to have an adventurous, explorative spirit, to see that heritage, to see where he wanted, and then create a heritage of his own, leaving his footsteps all over this earth. He rebuilt a structure of what it meant to have a family, and that is not just blood. And his family orient became a part of every part of his success. He bought 250 acres of land and built properties and an oasis, an escape from the day-to-day, his own serenade to himself and nature and love and his family, for them to be able to come together and escape a life that they didn't even need to escape from, a place that they could celebrate or join together. He would invite people to retreat with him in this beautiful destination. That was the world that he created. That's the reality he lived in day to day. he had a t-shirt collection, and it was always something silly for him until he expanded it to a place where it actually had some notoriety and novelty to it. And now he has a t-shirt line with fun graphic t-shirts that inspire people, that people wear day to day. You've seen his t-shirts and might not even recognize that you've seen it because he's just fallen in love with what he does. And it's fun. And it's freeing. The freedom that this man has and flexibility of time is unbelievable. I remember hearing a story about the time that he became financially free, and he took all the clocks in his house and rented a bulldozer, and he put them out in front of his house and laid them down, got in the bulldozer and drove over his clocks to symbolize the fact that time no longer had him in bondage. He was no longer held slave to time and the 60 minutes and the 60 seconds and the 24 hours anymore. He had the freedom to live the life that he finally wanted with the work that he did and continues to do. It's no wonder that we've seen documentaries, we've read books, we've heard his story, that he's been nominated and won Academy Awards for the projects that he's been a part of. So yeah, this journeyman, this artist, this impactful warrior of hope continues to live an amazing life. And for the last 20 years, he's created a legacy. I can't wait to see what the next 20 bring.